All right, let's get right into the next video. I guess this doesn't seem so organized, but this is one of my strengths. I'm really good at speaking. I'm good at talking. I have the face for talking. I have the personality. I've been told that a million times ever since like it was never even put into doubt. Like it was just always known. But anyways, the point is that I want to get into Latin descent. And I started talking about the conquistadors. Listen, man, people are very proud of Latin history. Latin people are very proud. And I realize that because I've met so many people who talk bad about their race, their descent, and their people. I've met so many people like that. And I'm not gonna say the countries and the parts of the world, but I've had many people like I've seen certain countries where 9 out of 10 people have told me all negative things about their country. You know what I mean? And I've seen it and I've heard it. And anyways, that's fine. But I'll tell you, Latin people are very proud. You know, I was talking about LA and things like that. Yeah, you know, if you go to LA, there's a lot. They call them Chicanos or Mexicans, people of Mexican heritage. I believe California at one point was actually part of Mexico. And the funny thing is, Mexico was New Spain before it was Mexico. It was called New Spain. And they're very so they have an Aztec history. They are mixed, right? Latino was again. Hernan Cortez coined it, who was supposed to be like the lead conquistador or one of them, one of the the founder of New Spain. Hernan Cortez coined the term Latino because he had a child with one of the native, with one of the indigenous, one of the indigenous women. I don't know what you call it. They have so many different tribes, and I don't know, and I can't say what tribe she was from because I don't remember. But he had at least one child with her, and he coined that term Latino because all the conquistadors married there and lived there, and they called the new race Latino. So Latinos are all different, by the way. You know, from Puerto Rico to Mexico to Colombia to Cuba, everyone has their own history. I've actually been to California. You know, I've been to California multiple times. I've been to Cuba. I've been to Dominican, which is right next to Puerto Rico. I didn't go to Puerto Rico. I've been to Panama and I've been to Colombia. I've been north and south in Colombia. I had to take a flight north and south, like considerably far in distance. And I spent a month and a half in Colombia. So I know a little bit about this stuff. And I will tell you, so in Los Angeles, or you know, in this Chicano culture, Mexican culture, they claim heritage to the Aztecs. The Aztecs were the people there before. That's what their tribe was called. It was a powerful race. They were a warrior race, right? And that's the crazy thing about Latino is that you had these Latin people coming from Spain, right? These conquistadors, and they were mostly, I think they were very white skinned. But in Spain, you will get people who are tan, right? And that's because of how powerful the sun is, and the weather is quite warm in Spain. So people are typically a bit tan, but they're like I look white. Look at how white my skin looks, and my skin does go white. But when I go out there in the sunlight, I do tan, and I do look tan. Okay, and I think that's a beautiful thing about Latin people. And coming from Spain, you know, we understand that. We can go to a wintry place or a cold place or whatnot, or it doesn't have to be so, but we can go to a place that doesn't get a lot of sunshine and not tan and be white. And then we can go to a place. And the funny thing is, so I went to Medellin also, and that's known as the city of eternal spring. Okay, it's not that sunny out there, so you don't really get tan. So I was white in Medellin and in Cali, Colombia, that's close to the equator line. The closer you are to the equator line in the world, the hotter it gets. It's hot and sunny and very powerful. The sun is very powerful. I totally tanned there, you know, and I didn't burn myself. I wasn't laying out trying to tan. I was just going about my business, tanning naturally over time. So I think that's great. So they were the Aztecs in Los Angeles or in California, and that was a warrior tribe. So you had these Latin people who can tan, who can adjust. You know, these travelers, these old Latin people of old Latin heritage, you know, mixing with this warrior race. Now these Latin people, obviously, they had technology. They had muskets and gunpowder. They rode horses. They had steel blades and swords. Now the Aztecs didn't have these things. They didn't have gunpowder. They didn't have they didn't ride horses. They didn't have steel to make blades, but they had clubs and things like that. And basically, these guys were just warrior race. Like they were just like, you know, they were just in the wild, in the jungles, in the place, in around the water, and they would go to war with each other as tribes. and really like they had a warrior, like they just had a warrior instinct and a warrior nature, these Aztecs, and they had beautiful art and everything. Now I'm not gonna tell you everything about it, right? But in the limited time that I do, they mix with these Latin people and Latino. The Latino was the term Latino was coined. And again, Aztecs. So Aztec art and Aztec history is all over the graffiti walls. People put it on their lowriders and everything. It's a culture thing. They always shout out Aztecs, and they call themselves Latino. How about in New York? You have a lot of Puerto Ricans and Puerto Ricans. Well, they have their. I haven't been to Puerto Rico, unfortunately, so I can't really speak on that too much. What I do know about Puerto Ricans is that they typically like to identify as Hispanic, Latino, or Hispanic, meaning that they're just, that they're just Latin. Okay, Puerto Rican people, I think they don't really care. Like a Puerto Rican can go to anywhere in Latin America and